good afternoon and good evening to you all. Welcome to the first edition for a whole week of the Full Hundreds. Today is Wednesday the 14th of April. I'll tell you why I've been away for a week. Exactly a week ago today, last week Wednesday, I put up a video titled To Passport or Not to Passport. Many of you saw the video. I think it had about 20 odd views in the first couple of hours, I think. And then it was taken down by YouTube. YouTube believed that I went against their community rules or whatever. I emailed them about 50 million times to explain how the video went against their community rules. Because the very next day I put it up on Facebook and the video's up on Facebook. No issues. The point of view of that video, the crux of that video was to explain to people that the market's going to dictate what happens. The UK has no choice. I don't know what kind of extreme view that, it wasn't a view this way or that way. It was a view to say, those who don't want the vaccine passport, those who are signing petitions against the vaccine passport are being selfish. Okay, if you don't want to take the vaccine, but I've taken the vaccine, shouldn't I have a way of proving I have? And if other countries are requesting it, shouldn't the UK then begin building a platform where people can go and extract their vaccine status? That was the view on the video. YouTube thinks it was too nutty or whatever it was they thought. And to this day, they can't explain why. So basically, they barred me from YouTube for 7 days, I believe. So I'm making a video today. There was no point making one before. I'm making a video today. If you remember, last week Friday, the next video was going to be on the Derek Chauvin trial for the George Floyd murder. And since then, we've had another killing, Daunte Wright, 10 miles from that trial, that courthouse. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. So, guys, look. I've just tried to upload a video, like a test run, and I'm still barred. So I'm guessing it might be on the exact time that I uploaded, which was later on in the evening at some point. So I've gone ahead and I'm doing this video anyway. And I'll edit it and get it ready to upload, and I'll try to upload it later. And if they don't, if I'm still barred later, then I'll upload it tomorrow. But I'm filming it today, Wednesday the 14th of April. So guys, like I said, Friday's topic was going to be on the George Floyd trial. I'm going to stick to that. Unfortunately, I'm having to add 2 more clips of this 20-year-old father who was shot because he got stopped for air freshener blocking his... The police believe air freshener was blocking his view. And they pulled him over. And he phones his mum. And when he attempts to get back in his car, the officer shoots him. A female officer. She believed she wanted to taser him. She believed she took her taser, not her gun. Guys, any one of you have seen that video online, you could see it was a gun clearly. I don't know how you could mistake something yellow for your dark grey steel in your hand. But the breaking news this evening, guys, just before I went on air, is that the FBI or the federal authorities are going to be charging her with third-degree manslaughter. So without further ado, guys, let's get down to today's show. So like I've said, I've got 3 videos on the George Floyd situation. It's pretty tough for a short show like mine to give you a running commentary, which is why, you know, I haven't brought it to you guys every week in and week out, because it's more or less, other than pointing out certain witnesses and that witness, and my show is not long enough. I don't want to have a 40-minute show. I don't want to have an hour show because I want to retain my audiences. So this is, the prosecution have now rested the case, and the defense have now started their case in the defense of that killer. But I'll tell you guys something. Anyone who's watched all of these trials over years, from Rodney King right the way through to today, to, well, other than George Floyd, will remember that cops have never turned on their own. I think the one takeaway that you can take from this trial is that the police have turned on this guy. Quite rightly so. That should have been the case in every single one of these unjustifiable deaths. It should have been the case where officers are lining up and saying, "No, that we don't do that. That's wrong." However, we haven't seen it in any of those other trials, and we're now seeing it in the trial of this murderer. The defense, like I said, started their case, I think, a couple of days ago, since Tuesday, I believe. Well, no, Wednesday today, right? So Monday or Tuesday, the prosecution rested and the defense started the case. I was watching a little bit of it today, and they had a South African coroner guy who was trying to half blame drug use on the guy's death. It's diabolical. However, the good news is that you will see from the videos I'm going to show you that the theme to take away from this trial, rather than going to each witness or what this witness said and what that person said, what his brother said, you can see all of that online. I'm summarizing the case because it's such a long case and my show's really short. So I'm going to start with the first video. Like I said, the takeaway from this is that he's on his own. He's right on his own, this guy, and thank God for that. So take a look at my first video on this, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
The trial of Derek Chauvin, a former police officer accused of killing an African-American, George Floyd, last year. A police expert has suggested that the force used by the policeman was not appropriate and was not authorised by police training. Derek Chauvin denies murder and manslaughter.
Yeah, this was a day dominated by police experts, giving really details about the training that Derek Chauvin and other officers receive during the process of their professional development. We were told, for example, that Derek Chauvin had been on a 5-day course in 2016 on de-escalation tactics. That had been refreshed in 2018, and the prosecution says, of course, he made no attempt to de-escalate the situation with George Floyd. We also heard about the use of force policy, and we heard from an instructor that while neck restraint was permitted at the time, they told officers to stay away from the neck wherever as possible. And the prosecution, of course, argues that Derek Chauvin knelt on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. And finally, we heard from a medical trainer, and she said that officers are obliged to offer some kind of medical or CPR assistance to non-responsive suspects. And of course, we know from the videos that none of that took place before the ambulance arrived.
Welcome back, guys. Now, again, like I said, that's what makes this trial different. For me, that's what makes anyone who's followed these things, that's what makes this trial slightly different. Now, the next video is a 35-second clip. This is his chief of police. This is his own chief of police. Although this guy is black, we've never seen even the black officers switch on their own. So listen to his chief of police describe what he thinks of Chauvin's methods. Take a look at this.
I just want to play for you what this week the chief of the Minneapolis police testified, Chief Arendano.
To continue to apply that level of force to a person proned out, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy, it is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Now, my last video on this evil person's trial is CNN's got an ex-prosecutor who's a contributor to their crime, anything to do with trials and stuff, and she sums up exactly what I said. Like I said, this from Rodney King in the 90s to the trial before, the very last trial before this one, whichever trial that was, of a police officer killing an innocent black person. This is very different. So she will sum it up exactly. She will sum up exactly what I'm trying to say and what to take away from this trial. And I guess summing it up in that way should give us the confidence that hopefully the jury would do the right thing. You know, to me, anything's still possible, man. Anything's still possible. Take a look at this and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Normally, you don't have this cooperation. You don't have a law enforcement official so eager to testify against so-called one of their own. There's this concept of kind of a blue wall of silence here where you're going to protect or at least extend a benefit of the doubt to somebody who is now the defendant. But here, you've had law enforcement official after law enforcement official, sergeants, lieutenants, chief, who are all testifying to the same thing. You know how rare it is for somebody to witness a traffic accident, Christine, and have them all say that it was the same color light? Every person here is testifying to the same thing, from a bystander to law enforcement agents, that this application of force was unreasonable, that he was not one of our own, that he may have had the badge on, the uniform that day, but he did things that were contrary to training. From the defense, you're wondering how you're going to defend not only against a bystander's view of the video, but an expert who essentially showed us frame by frame George Floyd taking his final breath.
Welcome back, guys. That's the end of that segment of the show. I want to now focus on Daunte Wright. Really sad, man. I mean, this almost reminds me of Jacob Blake, who was shot in the back in the middle of the protests. I mean, black people was getting shot in America in the middle of the chaos and the anger, and they were still shooting. While the whole world's watching this trial, this police officer believes you can just shoot a 20-year-old. I've got a 29 and a 30-year-old, my two older ones. I remember when they was 20. They're still children now at 29 and 30. This is a 20-year-old, a 20-year-old who's a parent, he's a father. What kind of heartless bitch do you have to be to look at a 20-year-old, knowing if that was a white kid, you would be saying, come on, Bo, come on, come on. But because he's black, you could just pull your gun and just kill him? It hurts. It really hurts. And to all those racists who are going to try and say he was getting away, God will never forgive you. And I hope, anyone who says, I hope something similar to this happens to your people on holiday. I hope they go to some country where they don't respect nothing, and they want to talk to your child, and your child walks away and they kill that child. I hope it happens to you. If you're going to see him and see this guy's story, and you want to have anything to say that he was to blame, that he deserves to be dead, then I wish it upon your child or your family member. Honestly, I do, because it's diabolical how anyone can think that child deserves to die. It really is. I've got a couple of videos on this. The first video is basically narrating what happened for those who might have missed it, okay? So take a look at this first video and I'll see you guys on the other side. It's really annoying.
Outrage and frustration in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, with crowds gathering in protests of the death of Daunte Wright, an officer shooting the 20-year-old during a traffic stop Sunday. Police say they were attempting to arrest the man after determining he had outstanding warrants and he got back into his car.
One officer had fired a weapon, striking the driver. The vehicle continued and eventually crashed, medical resources were then deployed to the scene to aid the people in both the vehicle that was crashed into and the original group. The driver of the vehicle was deceased.
Authorities say Wright died at the scene of the crash, his mother arriving there after the incident, saying he called her when he was pulled over shortly before 2 p.m.
Said he was getting pulled over by the police. And I said, well, why did you get pulled over? He said they pulled him over because he had air fresheners hanging from the rearview mirror.
According to Brooklyn Center Police, both body cameras and dash cameras were activated during the shooting. And this is all happening as we enter the third week of the Chauvin trial.
Welcome back, guys. I mean, that was 10 miles from where a proceeding was going on. You'd think the police will think, oh, hold on, there's that trial going on. Oh, let me be cautious here. Nah, not when it comes to black folk. Not when it comes to black people. You know, this is a child, not even 21 yet. Guys, then it gets worse. The press conference, which is my last video. The police chief attends a press conference and basically walks out because he was being asked some tough questions. But listen to what it says about the taser. This woman had no reason to pull a gun. She claimed she was meant to pull a taser because she knows this is a tase. If anything at all, this is a taser situation. If anything, yeah. He describes. I'll let you watch the video and then we'll talk on the other side. See you in a bit.
As you can hear, the officer, while struggling with Mr. Wright, shouts "taser, taser" several times. That is part of the officer's training prior to deploying a taser, which is a less lethal device. That is done to make her partners aware, as well as the subject, that a taser deployment will be imminent. During this encounter, however, the officer drew their handgun instead of their taser. For informational purposes, we train with our handguns on our dominant side and our taser on our weak side. So if you're right-handed, you carry your firearm on your right side and you carry your taser on the left. This is done purposefully and is trained. As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright.
Then a reporter says, you know, if the reason for the stop was not having a license plate or having an expired license plate, are you aware that there's currently a multi-month delay on license plates here? And the police chief just walks out of the press conference.
Significant delay. Are you aware that there's a significant delay in getting tabs and things of this nature from the DMV? So even people who have purchased tabs are unable to get them because there's a 2 to 3 month backlog. Are you aware of that? And is your staff also aware of that? And have you made any type of recommendations to your staff to be mindful that we're in the middle of a pandemic and don't pull people over for tabs, particularly because there is a significant delay in getting those tabs from the Department of Motor Vehicles? Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that.
Police.
I am aware of that.
Is your staff aware of that?
Yes, they are. Chief. That was the last question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Welcome back, guys. Mark, I want to ask those who might watch this video and comment and say, well, he was wanted, or well, he tried to run away. I mean, the kid that got shot in the back, people, when I aired it on my show, people commented and said, well, he had a gun. He was throwing a gun away. Does throwing a gun away deserve to get you killed? You're throwing a gun away and you're running away. But yet people still. So my question to those people who might comment is this. Are you tired of seeing white boys, white men, walking into places and slaughtering immigrants, slaughtering blacks, slaughtering Muslims, slaughtering children in schools? Aren't you tired of seeing that? Are you not tired of seeing the same white cops killing black people? Do you not want a better world where we don't see this all the time? Do you not want that? Why are you resisting that change? Boris Johnson just issued one of the worst reports any living person could even. I don't know why they would even think. But I've seen comments that the guys the people who wrote that report stepped down. That's not what they wrote. So someone within the British establishment, within the British government, felt it right to say there is no institutional racism in this country. Yes, we're not getting shot every day, but we're getting killed every so often. From getting in custody and ending up dead. We're just not shooting them. It's just not as blatant as America. So my question to you who resist this change, aren't you tired? Really, aren't you tired of seeing this? The fight's going to go on whether you like it or not. And change will come. Change will come. So guys, that's the end of the show. I hope I'm allowed to upload this. I'm sure my time runs out at some point today. It hasn't run out as of now because I just tried to upload something else. Just a trial upload and I wasn't able to. But hopefully by the time I've edited this, it will be okay to upload it. So I'll see you all on Friday for my next installment. In the meantime, I did miss you guys. And I've got a few texts saying that, what, have you stopped educating the people? One of my mates said, Don't stop doing what you're doing, you know. Don't stop doing. I says, no, maybe he's not me. I got barred for nothing, you know. So, guys, yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on Friday. And in the meantime, guys, please hit the subscribe button. Let's get more subscriptions up. You know, if you missed me, then hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you all soon. Take care and all the best. Bye-bye.